Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here again with some more of our fabric pieces that we did, and we made this huge collage masterboard on a 12x12 with all the bits of collage fabric. Obviously we could use this to make a cover or something for like a folio or a journal or something like that. However, I'm not going to do that because I feel like maybe we have done that before, like in our mass making when we've collaged straight onto envelopes, if you see what I mean. So I actually would prefer, I think, to just make pieces of ephemera and things out of the masterboard that we've made here, because I don't think we so often use fabric to make, you know, ephemera. So yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. So I'm going to trim around the edge first, so that we have, you know, a more cohesive looking piece. Because I always kind of say this about collage, it doesn't really kind of become, you know, I don't think, a sort of cohesive looking piece until you trim the edges. And once you do that, it's surprising the transformation that occurs. So I'm just going to trim around the entire edge. And again, you know, I'm really not too worried if I've not made a very good job of this, because, you know, I can go back in and tidy it up when we actually cut it down to make the pieces. So, you know, just as long as I get it roughly cut down, it's good enough. So there we go. And then here. Okie dokie. Okay, right, now I have a lot of threads on the back that I obviously need to get rid of as well, but again, you know, I'll do that afterwards. So I'm having a look here. Now, what I might do is use that method that we've been using recently, where we kind of cover up a little section to see how it's going to look. I quite like doing that because I think it gives you, you know, a good idea as to what, you know, what you're going to get when you kind of cut it apart. So let me just pull in some other blank page. Here we go. Right. So yeah, I find this quite a good way of kind of deciding how to cut it down. So I mean, for instance, we could cut it like this, and I think I cut the other one into thirds, which, yeah, I might do that again with this, because I think that worked quite nicely, and gave us, you know, a good selection of pieces to use. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is cut across here, because I quite liked how that looked just now. So we just go straight across like that. Now, unfortunately, I'm now cutting this straight on that stitched piece, you know, the stitch line. So yeah, I didn't plan that very well. Should have moved one way or the other, but never mind. So that's my first strip. So now let's just take that method again with the plain piece and just decide whether, you know, are we better off having like belly bands or going in again. So, quite like it. Yeah, I quite like it either way, to be honest. I think I'm going to do it, yeah, this way. So, right, let's try and avoid that stitch line this time. So just take it down here. Okay. Like that. And then we've got this strip as well. So, yeah, I mean, this, I could still actually do skinny sort of belly bands, or of course, you know, cut it down. So right, let's just get making some things, shall we? So for instance here, I'm just going to cut it roughly in half. Now I will take this down slightly smaller, because if we're likely to have this as pockets or anything on a page, this may be slightly too wide for the page still. So I'm going to just trim it up across the bottom, because that was horribly crooked like that. Going to just go in here, because again, not the best cutting going on there. And then we'll just come in here. Okay. So it's a bit better, I have to say. Not obviously making a very good job, full stop, of my cutting this morning, but never mind. Right, so that's that piece. Okay, we've got a lot of threads going on here, but you know, I don't mind that actually. So again, just going to trim up here, and then this edge, it's hard to say whether that edge is actually very crooked or whether it's my sewing is making it appear crooked, because I'm not sure I even cut that edge, to be honest. Okay, just going to go in here because that's, again, kind of got a big wonky part going on. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, okay, right. So we've got our starting pieces there. Okay, let's bring them in. So what should we put on these? I haven't made a plan at all, so yeah, I may regret not making a plan. Wish that I had. Wondering whether we might use clusters on these. I can't remember whether we used clusters or anything on the other ones that we did. But yeah, I've got some clusters kind of here, which I thought maybe... Oh, that's quite nice on there actually, isn't it? Or we could keep it very neutral. No, why would we keep it so neutral? I feel like it needs a splash of colour. Yeah, I think kind of something like that. For this one, I mean, again, we don't have to keep it, you know, landscape. We could move it and have it portrait. I must stop with that bow. I'm just constantly pulling that bow in every 5 seconds. So, yeah, I need to stop doing that. I mean, this feels like this is quite a big piece, so I feel like I need a biggish cluster on here. I mean, that's not too bad. I quite like that. Or got this one. That's a bit more pink. I quite like the contrast of the black, I think, actually. I have got this one, which I've been kind of hoarding for a long time, because I just love that green. I mean, again, this is one of those that, you know, I love so much, but I feel like I would struggle to use that in a journal because, you know, what's the likelihood of me doing a journal in that sort of tone? It's probably not that likely, is it? Right, let's ink these up. I haven't stitched around the edge of my other pieces yet, so I'll probably do it all together, you know, once I've finished this one. And yeah, do them all together. I think we were having it on the paisley side, weren't we? Yep, okay, let's ink this one. And I'm sure that I did mention this before, but I mean, you could now go over and with a paintbrush just coffee dye the whole lot, depending on your glue. Now, I find this would hold pretty well still. I used the tacky glue. Obviously, you might want to check your glue out first, because not all glue is going to be, you know, the same. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of definitely done that before, and it's you know, coffee stained it perfectly well. So, you know, it's just worth having a see what your glue is, because that's a really easy method to then get the coffee dye all over the whole piece. Okay, loving those two bits. Don't they look pretty? Now, just wondering, oh, I've got some lilac lace just, literally down on the floor, sorry. Just had to reach down to grab it. And that's quite pretty, isn't it? Okay. Now, do we want the lace on the end or across the top? I think across the top is prettier. Right, so first of all, I'm just going to glue this down. And again, I'm just using my hot glue. I know I say this all the time, but I'm just using it because it's quick and easy. And, you know, when you're doing videos and things, you just want something quick and easy. You don't want to have to be, you know, pressing for ages, hoping to goodness that it's glued down. You want to know it's glued. So, yeah, if you don't have hot glue, no, you know, no stress. You don't have to use hot glue. I mean, I do like hot glue, as I say all the time. you know, but I realise not everybody does. It's a bit of a kind of Marmite, I think. People either love their hot glue gun or they hate it. But yeah, for me, I really, really love it. I am thinking a bow would look really nice on here. Let me see if I've got some smaller ones. Nope, an equally gigantic one. Oh, never got quite the right thing, have we? You know, we have all these hundreds of things and never have the right thing at the right moment, I find. So let's just have a quick look through, just seeing whether I've got anything else like purpley. Oh, that's very purple, isn't it? Yep. Bit too purple that was. Okay, what have I got in my little flower container? It's not a flower container, it's my lovely container that Brenda had bought me, but it's got a section that I use for flowers. This might be too big. I feel like I definitely need something on here. I'm not quite sure what, to be honest. It's kind of, yeah, it's telling me it needs something. It's definitely screaming that it needs something, but oh, I don't know what. Actually, I'm thinking might be quite nice with, I've got some flowers that I think they might be that brand, Two Little Birds or Little Birdie or something like that. Oh, and of course now I'm not sure where they are. I thought they were there, but no, they don't appear to be there. Got this ivory lace, which, I mean, we could kind of have a double up of lace, I suppose, couldn't we? Like a little bit kind of coming out under the lilac. Is that just very strange? Unless we have the lilac lace there and then have the ivory lace at the top. That's kind of quite nice, isn't it? I think what it is, I'm finding this is very country in style, isn't it? You know, the gingham, which, you know, I mean, I love gingham, but the shoe is quite, you know, how I would kind of view like a regal kind of look to it, you know, quite opulent, isn't it? And, you know, quite nice. And I don't find that the two kind of looks are going together brilliantly. So I think what's going on here is I'm desperate to try and cover up a bit more of the gingham. I think is what's going on. I mean, that's quite nice. What do we think? Oh, do you know, I quite like that. I'm going to just go for that, to be honest. I could be here otherwise all day, just deliberating on what to put there. So, yeah, let's just go for that. Okie dokie. Right. Let's cut this piece off. Okay. Now, do we want to have any bling on this? Because, you know, bling always is the thing, isn't it? If in doubt, add some bling. Again, the bling might look completely wrong with the gingham, actually, now thinking. No, it doesn't. See, bling just looks good everywhere, doesn't it? It's one of those things that just always looks good. Whoops. So I'm going to put it there. Okay. Oh, I love how that piece looks. It's really pretty, I must say. Yeah, really, really like that. Okay, so let's move that to one side. Okay, next one. So, yeah, I'm going to go for this one. I mean, I do feel it's a bit risky because, you know, and maybe we'll struggle to use this. But I do really, really love how it looks, I have to say. I have got one of those little fabric tabs that we made as well. So we could even have, oops, have one of those on the side. Let's just have a look. Oh, how cute does that look? Just going to ink this up because obviously I have inked the rest up now. So I feel like, you know, it just needs a bit of inking. Please excuse my voice. I've got a really horrible cold at the moment. So, you know, touch wood, that's all it is. That's all it is. But yeah, so please excuse my voice. I know it's pretty irritating, but as is always the case, I find, you know, my voice is now sounding worse than when I actually felt worse, if you see what I mean. You know, I think that's often the case, isn't it? When you're feeling really dreadful and want everyone to be feeling sorry for you, you sound absolutely fine. And if ever I go to the doctor always says, oh, you look fine. And I just always say, yeah, I've got makeup on. Because, yeah, I wouldn't go to the doctors without my makeup. Well, I guess I have probably, you know, at times. But, yeah, generally, I wear makeup all the time. So, yeah, it's that kind of scenario as well. When you go to the doctors and they say, well, you look fine. And it's like, well, yeah, because I've got my makeup on. Right. Yeah, I'm going to put that on there because I think that just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. So let's just glue this down with the hot glue like that. And then here. Like that. So it's just like a little small tab hanging off the side there. How cute does that look? It's so gorgeous, doesn't it? Love how that looks. Just going to pop some glue here because I just really hate it, you know, when your edges are kind of lifting. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, love how that looks. So, they look really pretty, don't they? Right, let's bring in the next one. Can't remember whether this was the middle section or the end section, to be honest. So, again, I'm just going to cut this down across the middle. Approximately the middle. And we will just now cut this down. So, I'm going to cut it down on this edge, again, to just be careful of that stitching. It just needs bringing in quite a bit because otherwise it's quite a wide piece. Oh my goodness. I'm making such a hash of all my cutting today. Oh, come on, come on. Not good cutting skills today. Oh my gosh. Back's polka dots in rows, so it's really like evident on the back how awful my cutting is. Yeah, kind of was getting away with it on the front a little bit more, but wow, when I turned it over I thought, oh my gosh, it's worse than I even thought, worse than I even realised. Okay, just going to cut this down slightly on this edge. Okie dokie. Right, do we need to go in again? Okay, right, so again, I'm going to just see if we can use any of those clusters because, you know, they're quite a nice way to finish these, aren't they? I'm just pulling that bird in again, just, don't know why, but sometimes I just have those things happen where I just pull in the same thing time and time again, as I'm sure that if you watch my channel you'll know that that's something I do. Oh, I've got that piece again that we'd kind of pulled in last time. Pulled in and then rejected. Yep, I've got that one. That's quite pretty on there, but maybe a little bit wishy-washy, you know, a bit nothingy. That's quite nice on there. Oh, what do we think? Might have to just pull in some more clusters. I've got a whole bunch down here, so yeah, I hopefully have got something that's going to work on here. Oh. What about this? Let me just tear this down across that edge. Oh, that looks lovely on there, doesn't it? Love that. Yeah, really, really nice. So let's just ink this up a bit. Okay. And then do want some lace on this, definitely. Just need to find the right lace. Now I've got some white, which could look good. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm not sure now. Let me just cut this down and just see how it looks. Just going to cut the piece off the header strip, and you know, to stop it being gathered anymore. Okay. And let's have a look here. Oh, I don't know now. Oh, sometimes it's so tricky, isn't it? I mean, I could cover that edge up, but then it goes a bit colourless, I feel. I'm going to have to obviously cut off all of this because it's, you know, it's very long. Let me just move my camera slightly. It's, you know, it's a wide piece of lace, isn't it? So yeah, definitely I need to kind of cut that piece down. Let's just have a look. Okay, I'm just going to glue this down here. And then I'll just trim this down. Okay. Yeah, definitely love that cluster on there. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? Let's just trim these bits off here. Okay. And then just pop that on there. It just looks really lovely on there. Okay, right, let's just hot glue that down again, just using the hot glue for all the reasons that I'm constantly going on about. Just, it's quick and easy and definitely glued. Okay. Right, sorry about that, guys. I had to stop the video, you know, and go downstairs. So it's actually now the next day. But anyway, we will just carry on in the same vein that we were. So this was the last one that we made. I've not added anything else to it so far. I don't know whether maybe a bit of bling or maybe a flower or something, or maybe even a butterfly might look quite nice on there. Let me just have a look. I've got some that I have been cutting out recently, so hopefully... No, it's in that envelope. Hang on. Here we go. Right. Hopefully I have got a whole bunch of stuff now ready cut to use. Oh, she says, and then now I've looked. They're kind of partially cut, actually. Yeah, I didn't obviously do as well as I thought. In my mind, I felt like these were all fully cut out. But yeah, obviously kind of at the end of the day got fed up. So these were just some bits that I took on my cruise for fussy cutting. And yeah, I just obviously haven't, you know, haven't looked at them since, so I can't remember. I know that I did do a lot of fussy cutting, but yeah, clearly not enough still. Anyway, this is just a little pink kind of shaded butterfly. I don't know whether all the black on it or the dark parts are going to be, you know, too dark for this. We'll see. I mean, sometimes it's quite nice because it's a bit of contrast, isn't it? You know, otherwise it's a little bit colourless, perhaps. I don't know. or maybe we could have maybe a bow. Let's just see what other colour bows I've got. I also did do a lot of fussy cutting of some neutral bows, which I've been talking about for weeks and weeks, saying, oh, I need to cut some bows, I need to cut some bows. Well, I finally, well, even print some, but I finally have done that now. So, I mean, that's quite nice, to be honest. Yeah, quite like that. Oh, that's a bit like a sort of diagonal, isn't it? Let me just have a sip of my drink. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I might just ink that bow up slightly. Yeah, I fussy cut a lot of bows whilst I was away. So hopefully I've got tons and tons now, but yeah, I haven't sorted them yet. So everything I fussy cut, it's just all in one envelope at the moment. So I need to, you know, sort the envelope and get things out into their, you know, types, like butterflies, bows, and what have you. So at the moment it's all just a bit of a garbled kind of mess, but hey, at least I have finally got some now ready to use, so that's good, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, I mean, fussy cutting really does take quite a long time, doesn't it? And you know, I felt like I fussy cut so much stuff. I'd obviously taken a lot of stuff, you know, a lot more than I realised, because now I look, I've got quite a lot of stuff still left for cutting. Right, love how that piece looks. Do we want the bling or not? I don't think it necessarily needs it, to be honest. We could have it in the middle of the butterfly, or we could have it up there. Kind of tempted to go bling free, but of course, so that's just not going to happen, is it? So yeah, let's just put this bling down. Okay. Oops. Oh, it's now semi glued onto the butterfly. Okay, right. Looking good there. Just get that excess glue. Yay! Pretty. Right. Okay, so we have done 3 so far. So let's pull this one in. Okay, let's have a look and see what clusters might look pretty on this one. Here I go again. Different day. Different day, but still drawn to the same old cluster. Look, still pulling that bird in. Oh no, it's annoying, isn't it? I don't know why I'm constantly pulling that bird in, but I just seem I'm really keen to use it. Just wondering whether we could incorporate some more of the lilac, you know, because obviously it's got this lilac flower, which I think that's what's throwing me slightly, is because it feels like there's not really any other lilac on there. Right, so I'll get rid of my cup now out of the way, so at least that's one less thing on the desk. Oh, that's huge on there. Ooh, let me just bring my envelope back in of my fussy cut pieces. See if I've got any. I mean, that's darker obviously, but I don't mind it. I'm just going to see if I've got some. That's quite pretty actually, isn't it? Yeah, I think let's go for that. Okay, right. Yeah, let's just glue this down. So this is one of those sewing machine, you know, done on the sewing machine clusters. I know I've now glued that way over compared to where I held it, so I don't know quite what happened there, but I don't mind it over there, it's fine. Oh, that's quite nice like that, to be honest. Just having a look to see if I want to have anything else lilac-y, you know, to tie in the lilac even more. I don't think that's really lilac, but it's got a bit of a lilac look to it, weirdly enough. Oh, I don't know. I mean, this is on copy paper, so I'm a bit reluctant to use that, to be fair. You know, because it feels strange to use copy paper, obviously, on the fabric. But, I mean, there's probably no reason why I can't, to be honest. you know, I'm probably making more of a fuss than I need to. I'm sure it would work fine. Just have a look. Or perhaps we'll have it like that. Yeah, maybe like that. Okay, let's go for it. So let's hope for the best with this, you know, piece on the copy paper. I just felt a bit like this was going to be a bit lumpy because I'm gluing it all with the hot glue. And of course, you know, I could have opted to glue it with something else. You know, then I wouldn't have had that as a worry. But yeah, because I'm just trying to get things glued quite quickly, I will stick with the hot glue. Right, just wondering whether we need any other. What do you think to the purple flower? Not sure. I think it does need it because otherwise it feels like it's all blending in a bit much. That just helps it stand out a bit, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Wow, we excuse me. Oh, excuse me. We whizzed through this one, didn't we? So yeah, let's put that to one side. Right, okay. Last piece. So we were debating about doing this as belly bands, but I'm going to go with it, you know, as either journal cards or, you know, pockets, just as we've done the others. So I'm just going to try and get it looking a bit straighter. Just trim this edge down as well. Oops. Honestly, this is just, you know, when you keep cutting and there's going to be nothing left in a minute because you've had to keep cutting so much. It's doing that. And sometimes that's just how my cutting goes. Oh, that's a straight stitch there. I thought perhaps it was a thread, but no, I'd done a straight stitch. Which isn't it weird, but yeah, I normally quite like straight stitching, but strangely I'm not that keen on it on here. Just going to cut it down here because it feels quite wide. Oh my goodness, my cutting is appalling today. It's actually got worse since yesterday, I think. Oh, look. Oh, you can tell a bit more on the back because it's got spots. So it's like really, really obvious if I've made a really rubbish job of cutting. Okay. Right, okay, let's have a look and see for a cluster for this one. I mean, those clusters, they just make brilliant toppers, don't they? And, you know, it just then comes together so quickly and so easily. Just have a look at that one. I feel like this one's a bit too vintage from there. Oh, what about that bee? No, 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 no. Got this lady. Right. Oh. Struggling to find the perfect one for this, but that's okay because I have got some more, would you believe? This is not all of them. So I can always put in some others. Let's just have a look and see. Let me move these pieces out of the way. Right, let me just have a look for some of my other ones. Right, just putting in a whole bunch of other ones. So, yeah, hopefully between the pile I already had on the desk and the ones I'm now pulling in, hopefully I should have something that's going to go on here. Oh, this one looks like it might. Let's just move this out of the way. I mean, obviously I feel like I need to ink that fabric, because it doesn't look very vintage, does it? So let's just ink that. And I'm sure that I did say this, but you could just go over this with a paintbrush now with some coffee dye on it and ink the whole, you know, not ink it, but coffee dye the whole lot. I have done that before and it worked really well. Obviously I can't speak for, you know, the glue that you use, but the glue that I use, it's been fine. So it's, you know, it's worth a try because that's a really quick way to coffee dye your fabric once it's down. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? So I'm just going to have a little bit of glue here because it's just been held with one staple, and my pieces are slightly moving, you know, moving around. So yeah, I just want to kind of make sure they're a bit more fixed in place. Now I've got the rest of that white lace. Right, let's get the cluster stuck down first. Oh, it had a little bit of a, oops, folded over bit of lace there, so let's just drag that out. Okay. Okay, like that. And then, yeah, let's just have a look and see. Oh, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Also, I've got some of those hand-stitched, you know, ruffles. So I'm just wondering whether I could use any of those. Let me just have a look and see if I've got anything that might go. Hang on. Oops, oh gosh. Definitely not those. This one might go. Or maybe not. Let me just have another bit of a rummage through. Isn't it just typical? You know, you've always got everything but the one piece that you really would like. So, not that I know what the one piece is that I would like, but let's just have a quick look through here. It's so handy to have things like this to just pull in from time to time, you know. It really does make, you know, making things so much quicker and easier, you know, and bringing things together. It's, yeah, very handy. Okay, right, I've just brought in a handful that I think, well, they might go, you know, and we'll just, yeah, we'll just have a play and see. Just a bit of a see whether any of those will go. And actually, I think I might use one of those on my next piece, but we'll see. Right, I probably could do with inking them up because they're, you know, they're quite bright, aren't they, in comparison. Oh, that's quite pretty on there, isn't it? Yeah, I do like that. Let me just cut this piece of lace down. Just see whether I could do like a piece of lace kind of underneath it. Again, who knows? Oh, how cute does that look? Yeah, I love how that looks. Right, so I'm just going to glue that lace down because it's, you know, it's quite filled in, this particular lace. So ordinarily, I quite often would just glue this down over the top of the lace, but that one's not that holy. So, you know, I'm just not that sure whether it would have glued through the lace very well. So if in doubt, apply a bit of glue. Just going to cut that down there. Okay. Oh, I love how that looks. That's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yep, really, really pretty. And I'm just going to see whether I might like a little bow or anything on there. I don't think we can really fit on anywhere, but I mean, that's quite pretty, isn't it? I don't think it's the right colour. Let me just see whether I've got any pinker ones rather than purple. Oh, what are these? So I cut out a lot of labels as well. So I've got quite an abundance of, you know, yummy things to use now. That's been ready cut out, which I love. Just makes it really quick and easy then, doesn't it? That's quite nice actually, the green. Yeah, I really do need to sort these out into, you know, categories or embellishment types. you know, separate the bows from the labels and the butterflies and everything else. But hey, we'll, you know, do things one step at a time. I mean, so far it's just brilliant that I've finally got around to actually printing off some neutral coloured bows, because my gosh, I've been talking about doing that for weeks. There we go. Right, yeah. Okay, so that one on there. Love how that looks. Isn't that just beautiful? Looks really lovely, doesn't it? Right, okay, are we down to the last one now? Yeah, just one more to do. So we've got this one now. So again, let's pull in our clusters and see see what we might like. So again, I've got those ones that I've pulled in from behind my desk that are on my lap now. So I'll just see if I've got some better sort of colour matches here. Let's have a look. I know this is not a good colour match at all, but I just wondered whether, you know, like sometimes you can put something really clashy on and it will actually look really good. I'm not saying that that did. It didn't. But, you know, sometimes it's worth just trying, because you never know. You know, you never know what's going to be the bit that does work. That's quite nice on there. You know, once I've inked everything up, I think that's quite nice. That's quite nice. Yeah, I think that's kind of coming to the end with pinks. So, yeah. Okay, let me just put those back into the drawer. Okay, right. So, yeah, I'm thinking kind of ink this, and then we'll get hopefully a better idea of whether this is going to go. I'm hoping it's going to go nicely. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Very vintage looking. And, oops, sorry for jogging the table. I'm just fidgeting on my chair, trying to get comfortable. So again, wondering whether we could have a little bit of the, you know, the fabric ruffle, the hand-stitched ruffle, because that did look very cute on the other piece, didn't it? Oh, not with the blue. Oh, that's quite cute across there. Maybe this one's better. It's a bit longer. I've still got my cold, so I do apologise for my voice again. Obviously, this is the same video, so you might have heard me apologising before, but for me it's the next day, so it's irritating me all over again. Oh, I don't know. Just kind of thinking, does that white look pretty on there? Let's just see. Okay, let's get this one glued down. Actually, I could glue this one down more like a little tuck spot, so let's do that on here. So I've just glued it on the two sides, so you could then tuck something up there. Just sort of, you know, an extra bit of fun, really. Okay, and I can't decide now. I mean, is that like an overload of the ruffle? Let me glue the lace on, because I feel like whatever happens, I will be having that lace on there. Whoops. If I can actually glue it on there. Oh dear. Okay, let's just trim that down. And I mean, you know, you can probably see I've left that really scrappy. It's not tidy on there at all. But, you know, I think that looks quite nice, to be honest. Let me just move my camera slightly. Just going to trim this down because it looked quite wide. Okay. Oh, I just can't decide now. This is very annoying. I mean, I quite like it there. But I feel like I would quite like to cover some of this brown because it looks quite drab by comparison to everything else. So, yeah, by having that there, I'm kind of leaving this, you know, a bit exposed and not really able to cover it up because it looks obviously strange to have a second ruffle just like there. You know, it looks a bit like they're two hinges. Right, I think it looks a bit like that. Let's just try this bow. Could even have it under there. Oh, I'm not sure that looks quite right. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Although I don't mind it there, actually. Wondering whether a pink one would look better. Let me just see. Oh gosh, not that. Not that. No. Okay. Got that one. They're a bit too small, weirdly enough. That other one seemed massive, but then when you go smaller, it's like, ooh, looks a bit weird and boring. You know, I always like the big stuff. So, yeah. Let's just try this big one. Oh, that just looks rubbish, doesn't it? Isn't it annoying when you can't just find, you know, exactly what you're looking for? You know, and sometimes you don't know what you're looking for, is the problem. Until you suddenly spot it or, you know, try it on there and then it's like, oh, that was the perfect thing. Who knew? Who knew that all along, that that was going to be the thing? How about... Oh, I don't know. It's looking very weird, isn't it? What if we just have half of that on there? Trying to imagine what that would look like chopped off, if you see what I mean. I don't know whether we're getting too fussy. Let me just cut off a bit. Let me get that bow. Perhaps the bow would be better at the top. Oh, I don't know. I think maybe I need to bring this in slightly because maybe it's looking a bit wide. You know, maybe that's not really helping. Not helping matters. Okay, let's just cut down that edge. What do we think to that one? It looks okay, doesn't it? I mean, it's probably not my favourite, but sometimes it just comes to the point where, you know, especially if you're doing a video, you just got to go for it because, oh, people are probably, oh, very bored watching. Okay. And then I'm just going to put that little fabric ruffle up the top because I do love that one. Yay! Oh, yeah, it looks pretty after all. Okay, so let's have a look and see the pieces that we've done because we have now done the whole masterboard. So let's just quickly pull them in. Let me clear the decks so that you can see a little bit more clearly, or yeah, clearly. because at the moment we are swamped in clusters, and yeah, not really kind of able to see very clearly what we've done. Okay, let's have a look. So this one, we have got this one. We've got this one, which we've not inked this. It's bright still. We've not inked this either. That one's bright as well. But we've got the option that we could go back in and ink them sort of retrospectively. And then we've got these two. So yeah, I hope that you like them. I mean, I think they've turned out really, really pretty. Oh, I can't help but think that maybe to finish this one off. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hope that you like them. Had a really fun time doing them. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you're feeling inspired to go off and make some yourself now. So thank you so much. See you guys soon. Bye.